Good morning, everyone. Am I the only speaker today?
Yes, you are.
Okay. All right. Every time I speak, I never really, and because I found out late yesterday afternoon that I was going to speak today, I really didn't prepare much. I was out last night, but I kind of have an overview that I go through every time. So basically, what I do, I'm an independent insurance agent. What that means is I'm not like the Allstate person, the State Farm person. I represent directly probably about 20 to 25 companies. Those companies, then we have access to other companies through what they call wholesalers. The reason why we do it that way, each company has, we'll say, they put a quota on you that they want from you every year, so it's tough to keep every company happy. So some companies you keep on the side, you access them through wholesalers, which then there is no quota. If you give them $1,000 a year in business, $1,000 in business a year, that's fine. Or if you give them $100,000 in business a year, that's fine. But the companies that we deal with directly want the number. If you don't hit it, they ask why, and it becomes a whole problem. But anyway, as an independent agent, the process I go through, whether it be a business, a family, an individual. So if you were to refer someone to me, the first thing I do is call that person. I'll take some preliminary information, try to set up a meeting. I'm flexible, so I basically am willing to go to their home, go to their office, meet them at my office, meet them on a weekend, meet them at night, whatever it takes. So I'm flexible. I have to be that way because there's a lot of competition in the business. So from there, after the information gathering, I will go to all the companies that we represent to get different rates. What we look at first, we try to get people the proper coverage, so we'll review their current policies. A lot of times we'll find in the policies that maybe they're overinsured or they're underinsured. So that's what we look at first. Then we send it out. Try to get them the best premium. So we're looking at a combination of coverage and price. We will never reduce coverage to reduce the price. There are a lot of people in my industry out there that will do that, just the way it is, because most people don't, if they read their whole insurance policy, wouldn't really know what half of it means. So it's very easy for people, including these direct companies that you advertise all the time with their 800 numbers. It's very easy for them to cut coverage that you don't even know exists, or you wouldn't know what the maximum is. And everybody's out there selling on price, so we try to sell more on value. I understand price is very important, but in the end, we don't want to be the ones that you call and we have to tell you that you don't have the coverage. That's happened to me once. It's a terrible feeling, but it happens because a lot of instances people think they're covered for instance, on their home. If someone has let's say, gets water in their home through their roof, then the company goes in and inspects, and they say, well, why'd you get the water in? They'll go inspect the roof, and they might see that there's 10 shingles missing. They may not cover that claim because they'll say you didn't maintain your home. If you had replaced the shingles that came off, this wouldn't have happened, so we're not covering the claim. That's when we get involved. That's one of the advantages of having an agent. I'm on site a lot of times with claims because you do, for Hurricane Sandy, that's all I did for 6 to 8 months. I was at houses with adjusters, fighting for my clients because a lot of these adjusters were coming in from whether it be Florida, Georgia, they don't know the area. They're just coming in looking at things. So I was actually walking through homes with people saying, look, this is damaged, you missed this, you missed that. Just trying to get numbers up for people because a lot of people are in bad shape. In addition to that, I was talking about the companies that I do represent. Just to give you a few names, we represent companies like Hartford AARP, Travelers, a company called Encompass, which is owned by Allstate, Chubb, another company called Ace, which actually now owns Chubb, so they're becoming one. They're two of the higher end companies. They insure a lot of high value homes. Then on the commercial end, we have Hartford, Travelers, a company called CNA. I can go on and on. A lot of the companies you probably haven't even heard of, but we only deal with A-rated companies. And then on the, we deal with female object flood policies. It's one thing we do. Whether you live in Seabright or whether you live in Freehold, we give everyone a flood quote. To give you an example, if you live in Freehold, to get the maximum flood coverage may cost you $400 a year. If you live in Seabright, it could go up to as much as $4,000 a year. Living in Freehold, it's not required. Living in Seabright, it usually is. If you have a mortgage, your mortgage company will make you take out flood coverage because they're covering themselves because they have an interest in the property. So, but flood's very important. I've had houses flood in Freehold. You don't realize there's underground streams. It happened to a friend of mine, calls me after a rainstorm. He has 1.5 foot of water in his basement. He realized that there's a lot of streams underground, so that's considered flood. Flood is natural waters coming into the home from the outside. And a homeowner policy does not cover flood. What the home policies do cover is if pipe broke, if you had a pump in your basement, sump pump, and that was to malfunction, not work because the power went out, that would be water backup coverage. That's an add-on to your home policies. Most don't have it. That has to be added on separately. I add it on to every policy because that's probably one of the more common claims that we see. There's a lot better chance of you having a water backup claim at your home than a fire. I've been in the insurance business 15 years. I've only seen, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 major fires in homes. So it's the small, I shouldn't call them small things, but rarely does a house burn down. It's more pipe breaks, pipe freezes in the winter and breaks, drains back up, power outage, things don't operate, food loss in the refrigerator, things like that. How much time do I have?
You have 3 minutes.
Any questions?
So, I do.
Yes.
So the insurance, the new insurance coming out for covering you for credit card.
Oh, okay, yes, cyber liability.
Yes, cyber, yeah, thank you.
Now, it's really more, for individuals, they have that, I forget the name of it. LifeLock.
Yeah.
That's, in fact, I'm in the process of looking into that.
I have that.
All right, that's good to have.
Yeah.
For businesses, they have what they call cyber liability, which an office like we have it because we have a database where I have people's dates of birth, social security numbers in our system. All of our clients, we have to have that information. For businesses, we have federal ID numbers. So if our system was compromised, we could be, we may have to notify each person, which is an expense in itself. I know one of my credit cards was compromised and the bank had to supply us with a 1-year subscription, right, to like a, what is it again, LifeLock. So that expense alone, if you had 1,000 clients, what's that, $100 a year each? It adds up, it covers things like that. I'm going to tell you a quick story. It happened to a client of mine in New York 10 days ago. He banks with, I want to say it's Chase. He has all of his personal accounts there, all of his commercial accounts. They were hacked one way or another, not everyone, but they got his information. Within 2 days, whoever had done this, they created checkbooks, checks in his name. They wrote out 3 $14,000 checks. While they were in their system, I guess they also got his personal information. He didn't even realize it, for 2 days, his phone service was changed from Verizon to one of the other companies. His phone was being used. They pulled personal information out of his phone. So any pictures he had, they can see. All of his clients, he had maybe 1,000 people in his phone. This guy's an attorney and he owns a title agency. He's a real estate attorney in New York. So just to show you what can happen.
Did he have coverage? Did he have insurance? Or the bank has to cover that?
The bank covered it. The bank, but for him to get back to normal, they had to shut down his accounts for several days. He didn't have access to any of his money.
Wow.
And I found this out because one of his policies was renewing. I went to pick up a check from him and he said, I can't write checks. They told me all my accounts are shut down for a week.
Wow.
So just to show you what's going on out there, it's and with the cyber liability policies that we write for companies, read an article the other day, and we get emails all the time. So far on those policies, 50% of them have had to put in a claim.
Wow.
So just to show you, there's a lot going on out there, and once you're compromised, just to get you back to normal.
It's a,
If the banks will cover it, then why should we get it?
What, the LifeLock?
Yeah, like if we get hacked and the banks are covering it, why should we get LifeLock?
I think LifeLock, I believe, and I don't know that much about it, I don't sell it or anything.
I just hear it everywhere.
They I believe, will update you. If they see an inquiry for credit, they will notify you
Yeah,
and
I get
say,
emails.
and say basically, and say, by the way, are you right now
Yeah.
applying for a new
So basically, if you
ban?
had LifeLock, they might have been able to catch it before it got this bad.
Correct.
Possibly, yeah. And it's not that
Right.
expensive.
And I believe they also help you.
Other than the bank, so let's just say they got it from, an offer or whatever, a credit card offer or something, bank's gonna go, it's not our problem.
No, the credit cards are pretty good now too. I know I get a text or an email
Yeah,
every
yeah,
time
yeah,
there's a
yeah,
transaction on
yeah.
my card. So if something pops up and you say, whoa, something just happened on my card, it's not me, you can
That's
contact them
happened.
right
So
away.
Sometimes I ask my wife, did you do this, and
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
they're all pretty much on it, but I think LifeLock also assists you with restoring. I think they have attorneys on site, so to speak, that help you restore, get you back. Because like I said, he was shut down. The thing that scares me is the phone. That's scary.
Yeah.
I mean,
Now
you
that we
can't-
know the amazing job that Jack can do, you go to him. If you haven't had a one-on-one with him, it's a great opportunity to learn